Before we start this video, remember to hit that like button, turn on bell notification and subscribe so you never miss another upload. Arsenal have just beaten FC Zurich, our first game of the Europa League, and our campaign has just started, lads. And dare I say it, ring on the alarm bells because we're winning the Europa League. No, but all serious, yeah guys, we've just beaten FC Zurich 2-1. Overall, I would say it was a okay performance. I think that I think 2-1, I think the result does, I think we really should have scored more than 2 goals. I think we had plenty of chances to kill off the game, but unfortunately we just didn't take the chances. Zurich, they were good, they were very threatening on the counter. There were many times where they did get behind, but you know, our defense did help us at the end and we came out with a 2-1. I think overall, I think it was a bit disappointing. I really wanted to see a bit more of the of some of our players. Some of the players I was really, really impressed by was Marquinhos. Obviously, a goal and an assist on his debut starting game. Well, obviously, a game goal and assist. So he looked good. Other players didn't really. No one really, really stood out in the games. But overall, it was a decent performance. We got the 3 points, which is what we wanted. I couldn't be asked much about the scoreline. What I did want to see was a few players play, a few different ones. Obviously we did a lot of rotations. We saw Matt Turner come in goal, we saw Fabio Vera get into the team, which I actually was shocked. I really thought he was going to be out injured, but he got a game in terms of how Fabio Vera played. I think he played okay. Didn't do anything special, kept the game ticking, so there's not much really to talk about Fabio Vera. But like I mentioned, it was a decent performance. But one thing that got me annoyed about that match was our lack of urgency. I think after the first half, after we scored, we got that early goal, I think the team just didn't know what to do. I think they were stuck on the frame of should they attack or should they just defend, and it looked like the team just did nothing. They literally did nothing for like 50-60 minutes. For the rest of the half after scoring, all we were doing was passing back, passing sideways. So we really should have done better in that game. Another thing I was disappointed was bringing on Gabriel at the end, Jesus at the end, Martin Odegaard, Saka. I think that for me personally, I felt that the game was quite comfortable, and it was like, why are you going to take a risk bringing on these star players and imagine they get injured for 10 minutes of a Europa League game? The risk for me was just personally not worth it. But overall, look, nothing went wrong. It went okay. The players came off without being injured, so that's a good thing. But like I mentioned, it was a bit frustrating, man. It was a bit frustrating. I'm thinking about the game now. It was a bit frustrating. I feel like we really should have done more. I feel like most of the time we're just passing backwards and sideways. It's just one of those games in the Europa League, isn't it? But I don't know, man. I wanted to see more, especially from the players that were coming in, like the likes of Fabio Vera. And Nketiah got a goal, so that's good for him, obviously. But off we go to our next game, which is against Everton. I think Everton's the game that everyone's focused on. I think the manager's also focused on it. But I mean, you look at the subs, he definitely wasn't. It definitely didn't look like he was focused on. But yeah, great things from Marquinhos. Obviously, with Saka constantly playing, obviously there's a chance of Marquinhos being brought in, and the Europa League is a great competition for him. I feel like the Europa League is a better place for him than him being on loan, because he can train with the team. He gets some game time as well. Weekly he's going to get some game time, and it's better than going to a championship, because you're in these hostile environments, and the opponents are very tough as well. So it will give Marquinhos a great experience. So hopefully we can see how Marquinhos is, and who knows, we've seen what happened with Martinelli. Imagine Marquinhos is the next thing that we don't have to loan him up, and in fact he's really good. I mean, he got a goal and assist. What more can you ask on his debut? So yeah, he looked sharp. But as I mentioned, all eyes on the next game against Everton. That is where it counts. Can also bounce back after the Manchester United loss. Yes, we bounced back in the Europa League, but you have to remember it was against weak opponents. The real test is against Everton. Can Arsenal bounce back? Because it's going to say a lot. Last season, every time we went on a loss, we lost. We went on a losing streak. So hopefully you can see a change, and hopefully you can see a win. But yeah guys, that's the end of today's video, the match review, whatever you'd like to call it, the fan cam. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. I'll probably do a maybe a match preview of Arsenal's upcoming game against Everton. But yeah, guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys next time.